she wrongly trading on her title here against the sort of agreement she had when she first left?
Absolutely not. The whole world knows who she is. She's Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. That's her title. It's her identity. They're making their own money. They're not working royals. And, she's not the first royal to use her title for commercial purposes. If you look at Dutch Original, which is, he was at the time Prince Charles, now the King, his brand, that's a commercial enterprise with Waitrose. So the whole world is not a surprise to the world that she's the Duchess of Sussex. It's who she is. If Prince Harry launched a blog as Prince Harry, I imagine there would be no outrage like there is with Meghan. But because it's Meghan, the whole world hates everything she does. Everything is an issue.
What do you think, Joyce? Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that. And I think that now it's actually going in reverse, because you think how many people have actually already started following her Instagram, and she has every right to use her title because that is actually her name. Although we seem to have this constant backlash against Meghan, I believe that there are hundreds of thousands of women who are supporting her. And as a woman to woman, I support any other woman setting up a business, because as a businesswoman myself, I know how difficult it is. And, you need other women to support you, not hate what you're doing. It's a business at the end of the day. And she cannot hide who she is. She can't, even if she didn't use the Duchess of Sussex in the business title, everybody knows her name.
The media particularly love to get at her. And I mean, I've been guilty of that in the past. But here I would applaud her too. I mean, if she wants to make a business successful, then yeah, go for it, girl. I say, girl power. Yeah.
Phew, let me just say this. I was not prepared. I was sitting there expecting the usual GB News energy, the classic eyebrow raise, the dramatic sigh, the why is Meghan breathing again routine. But instead, what did I witness? Anne, Maya, and Joyce basically hosting a mini TED Talk titled Leave Meghan Alone 2025. Let's start with Anne, because seeing her start this conversation with even a hint of fairness felt like watching Big Ben suddenly start playing Beyoncé. The way she opened that discussion, you could tell she was setting up what she thought was going to be a classic Meghan controversy moment. But then Maya jumped in so confidently, so unapologetically, that Anne's whole energy shifted. You could practically see her doing mental math. Wait, are we actually being normal today? On this show? And Maya? Oh, Maya came ready. She didn't stutter, she didn't hesitate, she didn't dance around anything. She stepped right into the center of that studio and delivered a calm but lethal breakdown of the nonsense Meghan has to put up with. The kind of reasoning you only hear from people who are tired of watching the same circus act every day. What I loved most is that Maya didn't treat Meghan like a mythical figure the media has constructed. She talked about her like an actual human being. A grown woman with a legal title, with a public identity, with a family, with a business, with talent, with ambition. And she addressed the double standards head on. Not in a let's tiptoe around it way, but in a this is obvious and we all know it way. Watching her speak felt like watching someone finally flip a light switch in a room the media has kept dark on purpose. But what really made the moment hit harder was the matter-of-fact way she dismantled the so-called scandal around Meghan using her name. She brought clarity, logic, context, all the things the tabloids seem aggressively allergic to. The way she explained the hypocrisy? Let me tell you, generations of royal PR spin evaporated instantly. You could practically hear Buckingham Palace's Wi-Fi glitching. And then Joyce came in like a warm breeze of sanity. Joyce didn't just speak. She connected. She brought in the perspective the conversation desperately needed. The reality of being a woman trying to build something in a world that loves to tear women down. She didn't talk about Meghan from the outside. She spoke from experience. She understood the pressure. She understood the criticism. She understood the unfairness. And she made it very clear that women supporting women is not just a cute slogan. It's a necessity. Her whole vibe was, listen, we're not doing this today. And I loved it. She reminded the audience that Meghan isn't some mysterious entity who can magically hide her identity. This is a woman married to one of the most famous men on earth. She could try rebranding herself as Margaret the Florist, and the media would still track her down before the ink on the business license dried. Joyce gets it. Joyce sees the stupidity in pretending Meghan could ever be anonymous. And Joyce made another point that hit like a fortune cookie filled with dynamite. Meghan has supporters. Masses of them. Especially women. Women who see what she's doing. Women who understand the grind. Women who relate to getting judged for existing. Women who are tired of the double standards. Women who are cheering her on, no matter how loud the haters get. Joyce essentially said the quiet part out loud. Meghan succeeds not because of hate, but in spite of it. And that's exactly why she's so threatening to people who can't handle a woman being powerful, visible, and self-made. But the part that truly took this entire clip from surprisingly reasonable to history-making television was Anne's reaction after hearing Maya and Joyce lay down the truth. Because you could see her shifting. You could see her absorbing it. You could see the gears in her brain turning like, you know what? Fair point. And then, the moment none of us had on our 2025 bingo card, Anne acknowledged the press's obsession with Meghan. She acknowledged the nitpicking, the over-focus, the unnecessary judgment, and she acknowledged that she herself had participated in that culture. For someone on GB News to show that level of self-awareness, oh, that was groundbreaking. But the real shocker was what she said next. She didn't twist it. She didn't redirect. She didn't diminish anyone's points. She didn't double back. She simply acknowledged Meghan's hustle, her ambition, her right to build something, her right to run a business without being treated like she's staging a rebellion. And you know what? It was genuine. It wasn't performative. It wasn't forced. You could tell it came from a place of recognizing how absurd the Meghan hate discourse has become. The world is tired. People are tired. Even broadcasters are tired. And Anne showed that fatigue in the best possible way. When the conversation ended, the entire energy of that panel felt like a turning tide, a moment where even the usual skeptics had to step back and admit the obvious. Meghan isn't the villain. She never has been. She's just the easiest target, and people are waking up to that fact. The reason this clip is so powerful for your video is because it's not coming from commentators who are known for defending Meghan. It's not coming from people who have built their platform on fairness. It's not coming from her supporters. It's coming from a network that usually finds ways to criticize her even when she's not doing anything. That's why it hits. That's why your audience will eat this up. That's why this clip is important. Because if Anne can look at the situation and say, yeah, this woman isn't doing anything wrong, then truly, the story is shifting. If Maya and Joyce can sit on that panel and speak the truth so clearly, so powerfully, so intelligently, then anyone still pretending Meghan is some sort of villain looks outdated, ridiculous, cartoonish. And that's what makes this so delicious. The narrative is finally collapsing under its own weight. The hate is tired, the lies are repetitive, the outrage is stale, and the truth is breaking through in the most unexpected places. This is the moment your viewers will love because it shows a change in the air. It shows a crack in the armor. It shows that Meghan's power, influence, and success are too big to ignore or downplay any longer. So after that clip, your commentary comes in like thunder after lightning. Calm, sharp, and devastatingly funny. Layer the contrast. Celebrate the sanity. Point out the irony. Highlight how wild it is for certain networks to suddenly embrace reality. And most importantly, show how this moment proves Meghan's success is undeniable, no matter how loudly the haters scream. Because when GB News, of all places, starts supporting Meghan's business moves, you know the game has changed, and somewhere behind palace walls, people are sweating.